Get ready for The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show on Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Dayan, happy Monday morning to you.
Happy Monday morning to you and everybody watching us.
Yeah, great way to start off our week with the latest news and information from around the Greater West Bloomfield community. Here's all the places you can find us each and every day. On your cable television screen on Comcast Channel 15 and on AT&T Channel 99. You can also find us online in high definition on our website, civiccentertv.com. Find us on social media on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube at Civic Center TV to also watch us live and find us on demand. While you're driving into work this morning, we're always on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM and lakesfm.com, a place to find our 24 hours of programming on Civic Center TV all day long, including The Splash every morning from 8:30 to 1 p.m., replaying all throughout the morning and into the early parts of your afternoon. That's a look at every place you can find us. Now let's take a look outside our windows this morning with the weather. Diane, what's it going to look like today?
So we have an interesting weather pattern for today and shaping up this week. Starting with today, we have partly cloudy skies with a highs of 84 and lows of 62 degrees. It'll be a comfortable day to start off the week, right? Moving on to Tuesday, we'll get a similar conditions with partly cloudy skies, but it's gonna rise a little slightly, reaching a high of 87 degrees and a low of 62 degrees. It'll be another pleasant day overall. Looking ahead to Wednesday, we can anticipate partly cloudy skies as well during the daytime with the highs of 90 degrees and lows of 71 degrees. But as we go into the evening, there might be scattered thunderstorms. So make sure that you either plan all your outdoor activities earlier through the day or just follow the weather forecast in case you have plans in the evening. Tyler?
Yeah, looks like a nice start off to the week and some rain later on in the week, but going to be hot outside, so keep yourself hydrated and monitor your time outside if need be. Taking a look at some of the news making headlines today, we'll get into discussion as we go throughout the show. The West Bloomfield Fire Department over the weekend, the second consecutive weekend, fighting a home fire in West Bloomfield. Everybody did get out safely, and we'll give you an update on their condition later on in the show. Check out a person's life story at the West Bloomfield Library next month on August 12th. We'll get into details about that later on in the show. Also, a West Bloomfield family has lost their beloved pet, while one family is looking for their macaw, a rare bird here in our local area. Communities are receiving complaints about early Woodward Cruisers. We'll get more information on that and what sort of complaints are coming in as we are weeks out still from the Woodward Dream Cruise. Then at 9 o'clock, the Friendship Circle's Bassie Shemtov will join us to preview this year's Walk for Friendship, a fan favorite in the local community. And other fan favorites coming back this weekend, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Signs went up to advertise for the show all throughout the community. We'll talk about that later on this morning. Then 9:15, Bugs Beto joins us on the program from the Detroit area's @1 R&B band, according to Reverb Nation. Later on the show, high school graduates put up a bronze sculpture at center stage at the new Berkeley Art Space Plaza this Saturday. That's coming up. Diane will give us more information on that later on in the show. Also, we'll talk about ways you can improve your health and wellness at the Oakland County Farmers Market and a special air show coming to Oakland County International Airport. All those stories and more coming up next. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. Our top story this morning, the West Bloomfield Fire Department over the weekend fought their second consecutive home fire in just as many weekends in West Bloomfield Township. This time they were called to a home on Redcoat Lane. That's in one of the neighborhoods just south of us at Green Media Center at our home in West Bloomfield on the campus of Chico Elementary School. The fire happened at 5:58 a.m. on Saturday, and firefighters were able to get on site, get set up, and get into the home quickly, rescuing 2 residents and transporting them to a local hospital where they are in critical condition at this time. The fire is still under investigation, and the West Bloomfield Fire Department does say by all indications they had working smoke detectors in the home and plenty of more details on it. The problem wasn't necessarily the fire for these 2 residents. The biggest problem was the smoke. Sean Lee from WDIV TV, or Local 4 here in the Detroit area, had a great report on that. We'll take a look at a short bit of that to get some other extraneous details from the story. Let's take a look at that, Calvin, when we have a moment.
I'll tell you what the fire chief just described to me on the phone just now is remarkable. We take a look at the home here. You don't see much damage at all, but there was lethal smoke all throughout this home, big time here. Such smoke that an elderly couple inside ended up in 2 different areas of the home they couldn't see and they couldn't get out. So it was up to the firefighters here in West Bloomfield to go in. They could not see. They were able to somehow find them because with that smoke, people can perish immediately. They got them out, but the chief also just told me they're thinking about this couple every moment. Since then, they're in the hospital in critical condition.
And bringing that back in, we'll bring in Dayan Chaaban with us because that's an important point that Sean Lee had made, that these 2 individuals were in their home at the same time at the time of this fire early on Saturday morning, just before 6 a.m. And the biggest part of that was that both of these individuals were rescued. They are in critical condition. And, of course, our thoughts here at Civic Center TV are with the family. And of course, we give our gratitude to the West Bloomfield Fire Department again for being able to get to this home quickly, rescue this family, and put out that fire before it spread to any other areas in that neighborhood, Diane. But the important thing that Sean Lee was saying in there from WDIV, from Local 4 in Detroit, is that these residents were in 2 different spots. That kind of goes back to what we talked about last week with the West Bloomfield Fire Department. We had Deputy Fire Marshal Dave DeBoer on the program. And one of the key elements that he talked about in terms of home safety from fires was having escape plans, and not just escape plans, but multiple escape plans.
Yeah, of course. So as you mentioned earlier, Tyler, Dave did mention having an escape plan and teaching each and every family member about it, from your kids to the older. Your whole family should know about this escape plan. They should know a meeting spot, and you should have an escape door. Other things that Dave talked about is also watching out for these smoke detectors. So make sure they are installed in every room of your house, especially in your bedrooms, in your kitchens. These are very important and key areas that people should look out for. Not only that, but they should also check for them twice a year and check for their alert, if they're ready to alert you, if their batteries are okay. Other things that Dave and I talked about was making sure that all flammable materials are away from fire, such as your chemicals, your electrical cords. Make sure that they're away from any sort of heat or specifically in your kitchen. Having fire extinguishers ready is also a very essential very, very essential part of your plan, making sure that your family is safe. One last thing that Dave talked about, and it's very essential, people do not really know about it, is that with climate change and with the weather is going higher and higher, warming up every year more than the other, we should make sure that we should dispose our plastics safely. One of the things that Dave mentioned again was that one of the fires were started off by plastics in the garage. So make sure that you also dispose of all these flammable materials properly.
Yeah, plastics in the garage, that was the previous fire the weekend before. In this case, no indication just yet of where this fire that happened over the weekend had started, but nonetheless, that key point that we're getting at with this was that 2 individuals had to be rescued from their home in the case of this fire. You can do everything right, but having that escape plan from multiple points of your home so that when you do realize that your home is on fire, you have multiple ways to get yourself out of that home as quickly as possible. That is a key part of this. Not to say that that wasn't the case in this fire. Again, is under investigation. We don't have the full details of this, I'm sure, based on the fact that there were working smoke detectors in the home. These individuals were able to get to the emergency authorities quickly to get over there and get them rescued from their home, that they did everything possible right in this situation from all indications that we have. But it goes back to emphasizing those points that you and I have discussed, Diane, that we discussed with Dave DeBoer and others at the fire department many different times. Having those working smoke detectors, carbon monoxide alarms, also a key part of that. Fire extinguishers in multiple parts of your home, and be cognizant in all these different rooms where fires can start, where what's near your electrical outlets, what's near your stove, what's near your fireplace, all these different locations, and consider having a fire extinguisher in those areas very close by in case these fires do start. You can get them out early before they start to build, before that smoke billows up, because that was really the big concern here, was that the smoke was going to end up putting these people in a very dangerous spot before first responders could get there. Luckily, they did get there in time, and unfortunately, these 2 individuals are currently hospitalized in critical condition as a result of the smoke from that fire. Our thoughts are with them at this time. Other things happening throughout the community. A really interesting event, Diane, that's coming up at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library at their main branch in their meeting room in just a few weeks. Saturday, August 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Instead of checking out books that have stories of people's lives, why not check out a person's life story directly from them? That is what they're doing at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library with what they're calling their human library. And this is where you're going to go into the meeting room. You're going to sit down with someone. Maybe it's someone you know. Maybe it's a stranger. Maybe it's someone you'd never otherwise encounter in life. And you're going to talk to them. You'll talk to them about your life story. They'll talk about their life story. Maybe you'll learn some lessons about this. It's a really interesting concept. You are checking out a person instead of checking out a book. This event is aimed at trying to curb some stigmas and stereotypes in our society, open the doors to these communications, and have a more inclusive community as a result. There is no registration required for this event. Kids, adults, the elderly, anybody can attend this event from in the community. Again, Saturday, August 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. The slogan of this event, as you can see on the screen if you're watching on Civic Center TV or on our website on civiccentertv.com on demand later today, is Unjudge Someone. That's what makes it so interesting, Diane, is that getting these different perspectives, all the events that have gone on in our society over the last several years, what kind of it all goes back to is learning different perspectives from people of different lifestyles, different backgrounds than you, to better understand their upbringing, their history, their life, and what they've gone through, and that does create a more inclusive community.
Indeed, it does. And coming from an immigrant person, that does make a difference. People usually stereotype others or just like judge them based on their cover. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what led them to do what they're doing, or what their life was like and who they are as a person. So I think that's an incredible, incredible event. And I really invite everybody in our community to join this experience, because it's definitely a life-changing experience.
Getting to know someone else's story is a great way to get to know them, and it's natural for all of us to make those prejudgments about people the first time we see them, their body language, the way that they're holding themselves. Maybe the first conversation you have with them doesn't go very well, or they have a look on their face that may be puzzling to you, and that could put you in a position where you make a wrong prejudgment about them. And this is one of those events that can help you really take on a different perspective for people in our community, people both that may be your neighbors, maybe someone from the next town over, or someone from across the world that happens to just be visiting the area. These are really great stories. Highly encourage you to learn more at wblib.org. We'll also reach out to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, try to get more information and insight on the Human Library. Again, that is coming August 12th, Saturday, August 12th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library's main branch in the Civic Center complex off of Walnut Lake Road. That's very easy. You walk in the main library's doors, you turn to the right, and you take another quick right, and you're right into the meeting room, and there'll be plenty of signage there to point you in the right direction as well. Free event, no registration required. Just show up at the library on Saturday, August 12th. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side of the break, we have a really interesting story about a family in the local area whose beloved macaw, a special bird, escaped their home on the 4th of July weekend. They are still looking for this bird, and they're asking for the community's help. We'll have information on that. Plus, complaints coming in from communities across Oakland County about noise as we're getting closer and closer to the Woodward Dream Cruise. What is the problem in these communities? What is being done to address that? Those details and more also coming up after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Ronnie started doing prescription pills at the age of 15, and by 19 he died. If your child is struggling with drug use, try not to be too proud to reach out for help. Don't be worried about what the neighbor will think or your family. Just get your child the help they need. Sometimes it's the hard road to take, but the hard road is nothing compared to living with the fact that your child is no longer with you.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. A story making news late over the weekend from our friends at the Detroit Free Press, Neil Rubin, with a really interesting story from a couple out of West Bloomfield Township. West Bloomfield residents Ari Drisman and Gabby Aharonov told Neil Rubin from the Detroit Free Press that on the 4th of July weekend, their 4-foot-long beloved Catalina macaw named Cachette had flown away, and they have yet to seen their beloved bird come back since that day. Here's how all of it went down. Ari Drisman had walked outside, the man on the left on your screen, now with the macaw you're seeing on their computer screen in this picture on civiccentertv.com. Walked outside after several days cooped up inside. The bird hadn't had any outside time. Neither had Ari or his wife Gabby had any time outside because of the Canadian wildfires and the air quality alerts. So finally, get some time outside. They walk outdoors. Something spooked Cachette the macaw, and there it went. Flew off into the air, went up into some of the trees, and after several calls from Ari and from Gabby, inviting the bird to come back to them, calling for the bird to come back to them, offering them treats and whatnot, eventually the macaw went up to the next height and the next height and the next height in the trees, And it was shortly after that. What happens on 4th of July weekend often? Fireworks spooked the bird. It flew off, and they have not seen the macaw since then. Cachette is a 7-year-old macaw, which is young for birds of this kind. They live upwards of 60 years. So, relatively young bird and a beloved pet for this family. They describe Cachette quite cheekily as being fun but obnoxious, as well as talkative and friendly. Sounds a lot like the host of this program here. Myself, not Dayan. Direct from the Detroit Free Press article from Neil Rubin, the family is asking for your help in order to help find this macaw and bring him home after weeks outside of their home. They have had some tips from across the community of seeing a bird that looked like a macaw, so they are keeping hope at this time that Cachette will soon come back to them. Direct from the Detroit Free Press's article from Neil Rubin, quote, if you see him, and chances are that any blue, green, yellow, orange, and black macaw-looking bird is going to be him, you might cross that bird. It is the right one. Please email this worried family at rainbowcachette613 at gmail.com. That's Rainbow Cachette, K-E-S-H-E-T 613 at gmail.com. Rainbow, K-E-S-H-E-T 613 at gmail.com. Or check out that article from the Detroit Free Press from Neil Rubin today. It should be on their news page or even on their homepage still at this point in time as you're watching the show live or later on in the day. And help out your neighbors here in West Bloomfield Township looking for one of their beloved pets. And Dayan, this is a story that can hit close to home. I think about it all the time. Whenever I know that someone from maintenance in my apartment is going to come by, I make sure to put my cats in an area where they're not going to get spooked and have the zoomies and DoorDash, as they say. Not picking up food DoorDashing. I mean running outside that front door and making it tough to pick them up. So definitely feel for this family as they're looking for their beloved pet.
I feel the same way. That's what I do with my dog. I make sure that he's safe in my bedroom, locked in, no way that he can get out. Well, my dog actually is kind of scared. He's too attached, but just in case. I know how terrible that is. I've got a little puppy taken away from me before, and that's just the most terrible thing a pet owner can ever experience. So I urge anyone, if they find anything similar, give this family a hope and just email them as soon as you see a bird that looks like their beloved Cachette.
Yeah, and Calvin, if we can just get another picture up there one more time. They had a picture of they kind of gave a full shot of the macaw, of Cachette, the Catalina macaw, from this family in West Bloomfield Township. There it is. That's the bird that you are looking for. It's one of the most recent pictures they have of Cachette near their family home, and that's who they're looking for. If you see a bird that looks like this, the chances are it is Cachette. And again, that email is rainbowcachette613 at gmail.com. You can check out the article today from Neil Rubin at the Detroit Free Press. Other stories across town as we get closer to that date. We're getting closer to the month of August. The month of August is Woodward Dream Cruise Month, with it happening in the middle of the month. But even before then, complaints already coming in across communities on the other side of us here in Oakland County, in that Woodward Cruise area, about vehicles cruising down Woodward and making a whole lot of noise. Cities along the Woodward corridor have been complaining recently about noise from classic and luxury cars driving to get getting some early Woodward cruise time, as it's been nice outdoors, to be able to get outside, and even despite some of the air quality issues recently. Particularly Birmingham's been seeing an increase in these calls, and they've been, like many other communities, increasing their patrol, increasing their enforcement on these roads, particularly Woodward, even back since April. Officers are tracking speed in Birmingham, but also mainly addressing noise complaints, even armed with sound meters to check to make sure that these vehicles are maintaining sound within local ordinances and are not violating that. But here's the problem that comes into play. Even if a vehicle is going a little bit beyond the parameters of what they should be doing before the day of the official Woodward Dream Cruise event and making a lot of noise, it's tough for police officers in communities like Birmingham or Royal Oak or Ferndale and others that have seen a rash of these complaints coming in of late to enforce these laws, because state law says that exhaust system modifications are not legal. That includes modifications in most cases that could make those exhaust systems that tend to be making a lot of noise as you're revving up your engine and driving down Woodward a little bit quieter. There are some exceptions, but generally exhaust system modifications are not legal under state law. That makes enforcement a lot tougher, says Scott Grew, the police chief in Birmingham, as well as Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard. Police and local officials have been asking state representatives and senators to take action to help make this enforcement easier. And in fact, Royal Oak Senator Mallory McMorrow says that she is planning to introduce legislation to help local communities better and more easily enforce noise ordinances as early as this fall. Diane, the Woodward Dream Cruise, a big part of Oakland County tradition, is one of the favorite summer events, not just in Oakland County, but throughout the state of Michigan. Generates a lot of excitement. People get out on Woodward early on in their classic cars and their special vehicles all throughout the summer, but got to urge communities and individuals to be respectful of the communities that they're in and understand that the whole summer isn't the Woodward Dream Cruise.
Absolutely, Tyler. I agree with you. I actually attended one of the Woodward cruises last year. I really enjoyed I love cars. Not that I'm an expert on it, but I do love looking at these incredible classic cars that have been brought back to life, especially the ones from the 60s, the American cars that we used to see in the movies. These are just amazing. But again, we should be careful when it comes to being around residential areas. Noise pollution can be super disturbing to people. It can cause some anxiety. It can cause, it's just uncomfortable. So we should be able to enjoy it, but not annoy the residents in the area. Also, going back to Cachette the Macaw, it also startles our pet friends. So we just got to make sure to be a little bit more considerate.
Yeah, I was out in the Royal Oak, Berkeley area during the 4th of July weekend, even to bring another connection between these two stories we've been talking about of late, Diana, and that they love the Woodward Dream Cruise. It's great for their community, and it's great for getting people involved in the community and getting some buzz in that local area. But I can tell you, these residents in Berkeley and Royal Oak and Ferndale and in Birmingham, those areas, talking to some of them, things do get a little bit out of hand in their communities during this time of the year. And it's different when it's one day or a couple of days over the Dream Cruise weekend. But when it happens all summer long, that, of course, is going to be something that's more of an annoyance, more of a burden on those families, just trying to do what you and I are doing outside of the Woodward Dream Cruise area each and every day, living our daily lives and trying to have a peaceful home environment. So if you're out on the roads this summer, if you're out on Woodward before the Dream Cruise, keep in mind people are still living and working in that area, and we should be respectful of all of them. A great story coming in this morning to think about as we get closer to the Woodward Dream Cruise. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. On the other side, we'll talk about another beloved event that's happening right here in West Bloomfield Township. The Walk for Friendship is coming back in just a few weeks at the Farber Soul Center in West Bloomfield Township. Bassie Shemtov from the Friendship Circle will join us after this break. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft, alongside Dayan Chaaban. You can always stay up to date with us by joining us Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. for our live show, and join us all throughout the morning up until around 1 o'clock in the afternoon to see all the latest news and information throughout your community. Joining us now on the program is Bassie Shemtov from the Friendship Circle of West Bloomfield as we get ready for Sunday, August 27th at the Farber Soul Center on Drake Road, just south of Walnut Lake, for once again, the Walk for Friendship, celebrating inclusion and a supportive community right here in West Bloomfield Township. Before we get to Bassie and talk about this year's event, let's take a look back at last year's event so you can get a little taste of the fun and inclusion you'll experience in just a few weeks right here in West Bloomfield. Let's take a look.
The Friendship Circle is built on friendship. That's how it started.
Whatever we do, whether it's educational, recreational, we're always built on friendship.
Who's ready to give back to the community?
This is our 17th Walk for Friendship. This is an opportunity to bring our whole community together.
It is our families, it is our volunteers, it is our children, our amazing young adults, all of our individuals with special needs. It's those friendships, one-on-one, that really makes Friendship Circle who we are.
You give to the Friendship Circle, you walk, and it gives back to the people, and it forms a real friendship circle.
It's just really very powerful. You walk around and you just see the magic. Taking up an entire road, walking together, it's just incredibly powerful.
Friendship Circle is very important to me because this is the first camp that I found for my daughter. Every time she came, she was excited, and it gave me comfort. This is a very important program for our special needs community.
The community, just the positivity of it, it's kind of contagious.
Friendship Circle is awesome. It has been just a year of growth and love and friendship and feeling of really one family.
We love Friendship Circle!
We will always be built on friendship, and it's our community that makes Friendship Circle this amazing.
The Walk for Friendship is Sunday, August 27th at the Farber Soul Center and walking to the JCC, and later on to the Mears Center for the full celebration of the event this year. Joining us to talk about that is the Executive Program Director and the co-founder of the Friendship Circle in West Bloomfield, Bassie Shemtov, joins us now on the Splash Live. Bassie, thanks for being with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on because this is one of the favorite events in the West Bloomfield community for over the summer, celebrating a great organization that does a lot of work for our special needs community and even for the greater community here in West Bloomfield Township. For those that aren't familiar with the Friendship Circle, give us a little bit of a background on some of the services that you're providing right here in our communities.
Okay, thank you. That video just brought a smile to my face. The walk is really exciting. So the walk really brings together what Friendship Circle really is, and that is bringing the entire community together. Everybody really feels like they're partners to the whole program. And at Friendship Circle, we really pair up at the base children with special needs, giving an opportunity to teens from across our entire community to really reap the benefit of having that special connection of true unconditional love. We have our individuals with special needs are just genuine. They are a friend for real, not based on superficial qualities or descriptions of what society deems to be important. So that is one division. And then we have our adult division that is paired up with our adults with special needs or in our village. So we have recreational, social, educational programming. And then we have our adult division for where we train with vocational opportunities, as well as where they could create art. And then we sell the art in our gallery and online, and where we have our other pop-up shows. So it's like, as you mentioned, it's really for the entire community, because we are giving the opportunity for anybody who would like to really understand the importance and the beauty of somebody that has special needs. You could come in, volunteer, be a part of this community, and be a part of the energy, as somebody else on the video shared, which is really something that everybody mentions when they come around.
And what I love so much about observing this event every year that I've covered it is seeing that these are some real genuine relationships that are being built from people all across the community, both in the special needs community and within that community, and from outside that community, joining them hand in hand on that day and beyond. You're forming these relationships, but also providing these opportunities in the community as well. And so the Walk for Friendship, how does that help to support these sort of programs all throughout the year?
So all of our programs, our weekly programs, throughout the summer, we have camp and overnight camp. So all of our programs come to about 10% of what actually the budget is for Friendship Circle. So our annual walk is really our largest annual fundraiser that takes a real chunk and helps us do what we do. So, and there are many people that would need scholarships as well, but even if everyone paid what we charge for every program, it would only be 10% of our budget.
And so that's what's so important about getting involved in this walk. Not only are you celebrating an inclusive community and the message behind the Friendship Circle, you're also supporting this organization all throughout the year. So whether people are able to participate in the walk or not, what other ways are there that people can participate in the Walk for Friendship to, as you said, support these programs all throughout the year?
Yeah, and the nice thing about the walk is you could go to walkforfriendship.com. You could sign up as a walker where it will not cost you any money. This is a free event, and that's really done intentionally because we want the entire community to be able to join, whether you could afford to give a donation or not. That's really not the only reason why we have this walk. It's a real time to open it up to the entire community and say, you want to be a part of our life, which is our children and adults with special needs. We want you to learn from them because they are making the world a better place. And then, of course, if you go on walkforfriendship.com, even if you can't make it in person, you can give a donation, small or large. Every dollar counts. Every dollar will help. So throughout the year, you could volunteer, or for the walk, you could come be a part of it in person, bring your family, bring your friends, and you will experience the energy that you will just love.
Bassie Shemtov joins us on today's edition of the Splash Live. Just a little ways away from this year's Walk for Friendship. It is again on August 27th this year. That is on a Sunday. It begins at the Farber Soul Center just off of Drake Road, south of Walnut Lake Road. The walk then begins just after the opening ceremony at 11:30, about 11:45, walking to the JCC and walking to the Mears Center for the event that afternoon. Again, more information, walkforfriendship.com. They're looking to raise about $750,000, and at the time that we're doing this interview, they're about a third of the way there. Still plenty of time left to donate and to get involved. And Bassie, this is the 18th annual event. Last year's was the 17th. This year's going to be the 18th time that the walk has happened. Why center this fundraiser and this gathering of the community into a walk? Where did that story really begin?
When we first went in from our trailer into our very first center on Mears Center, 2005, is when we thought, we need a way for the community to be able to feel it and support it in some way. And that was just the best idea. The first year was pretty amazing as the first year, and it just keeps growing each year. And besides for the funds, it is so important for the community to know that they can be a part of Friendship Circle, a part of this incredible community by physically just showing up and walking.
And it's a way for the community in its entirety to get involved too. Speak to the partnership that goes into making this happen, not just from your team at the Friendship Circle, but from West Bloomfield Township, from other organizations throughout the community and individuals too, that make this happen and make this such a prolific West Bloomfield-centric event every year.
Yeah, and then all the corporate sponsors that join. What's cool about the Friendship Circle is that everyone can and does, whoever does support, whoever does sponsor, feels like it's their walk. It's not just some organization's walk and they're helping out, but it's their walk. They're a part of it. This year we're going to be having a great representation at all the Plum markets for a week, really pumping up the walk, which I'm really excited about. This year, for the first time ever, we're doing a scavenger hunt that is going to be one cool event. Children, teens, adults will be able to race around finding our 7 different representatives of the divisions of Friendship Circle, of what Friendship Circle does. And once they find it, we're going to have a first prize, 2 runner-up prizes, where we're going to have significant gift cards for those 2 prizes. And then everyone that finds all 7 divisions will get the really one-of-a-kind, cool, beautiful baseball cap. Since 1994 Friendship Circle baseball cap. That's going to be amazing. So that's the first time ever. The walk is going to be energetic and fun, and really, most importantly, have an energy that will just give you a great feeling.
Bassie Shemtov joins us from the Friendship Circle. Bassie is the Executive Program Director and the co-founder of the Friendship Circle as we get ready for Sunday, August 27th, beginning at 10:30 a.m. for registration and running all throughout 3 p.m. for the walk, for an opening ceremony, for the events. For more information can be found at walk4friendship.com. That's walk4friendship.com. Information on how to get involved in the event, raise some money, become one of the top walkers and top teams fundraising for this event as they look to raise money to support all their programs for the next year over. And Bassie, if getting involved in the community, if the inclusion and the community nature of this event isn't enough to get people out and get families out there, there's plenty of fun events and a celebration at the Mir Center that are also on the back half of this event. Give us a little bit of insight on what people can experience at this year's event and what sort of fun families and individuals can have in our community.
We have some of the coolest rides. We have our great big zip line that I know the kids absolutely always love, the bungee jump, the animals. Again, the scavenger hunt is going to go through, free food, free t-shirt. I mean, you name it. You want to have a good time with your family. Come on, from the rides to the carnival activities to the face painting, the circus style small shows throughout the property. It is going to be a real fun celebration.
More information can be found on walk4friendship.com. Bassie Shemtov, the Executive Program Director and the co-founder of the Friendship Circle, joins us on the Splash Live today as we preview this year's Walk for Friendship. Bassie, another minute or so left before we'll need to move on today. Anything else we haven't talked about in terms of the Walk for Friendship or other ways people can get involved in the Friendship Circle all throughout the year?
If you know someone or have someone in your family that has special needs, we have everything from extra curricular activities for your younger children after school time, all day Sundays, and of course in the summer, which is almost finished, unfortunately. And then we have, if you have adults with special needs, we have great programming where you can sign up your child or suggest it to your friend. If you're someone that wants to volunteer, whether at the studio or in our village, if you're a teen that wants to volunteer, if you're a donor that would like to help support us, for any reason, friendshipcircle.org, reach out and we'd be happy to set up a time to meet.
Programs all throughout the year on friendshipcircle.org. You can learn more about this year's Walk for Friendship at walk4friendship.com. Bassie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You as well. Walk4friendship.com is the website for more information. Sunday, August 27th at the Farber Center on Drake Road, just south of Walnut Lake Road. Registration begins at 10:30. The opening ceremony at 11:30. The walk at 11:45, and plenty of fun and events all throughout that afternoon leading up to 3 p.m. Walk4friendship.com. Plenty of more to get to on today's edition of The Splash Live. We'll take a break and come right back. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
it's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan Chaaban. One of the biggest events of the year in West Bloomfield Township and a fan favorite alike is the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. It's coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, July 29th and July 30th. And the best sign that is coming up this weekend is that the signs all throughout the community have gone up across Greater West Bloomfield. Here you're seeing the sign that went up on Orchard Lake Road in Keagle Harbor, despite all the traffic over there by the lodge in the heart of Keagle Harbor. We also have signs that went up this week in West Bloomfield Township on Orchard Lake Road. A little bit of wind there, but not going to throw off that sign. Still up there for everyone to see. Those dates, July 29th and July 30th. And then Patty Narosny and the team from the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, we had her on the show recently, the executive producer and a creator of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show from Hot Works, putting up signs in nearby communities, reminding people, hey, we got the art show coming in this weekend. It's just going to be a couple of days. It's going to be actually physically on Powers and Daly Road, which is an output and a thoroughfare for many of those local communities right behind that area of the business spots in West Bloomfield, just off of Maple and Orchard Lake Road, giving them a reminder, hey, look, we're only going to be here for a couple of days. You might have to take some detours. Make sure you're driving slow because there are going to be people and there is going to be events out on the roads here. More information on the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show can be found on hotworks.org. It is one of the top 100 juried art shows in all of America. This has been done about 12 different times. They've been named to this top 100 list. And what Patty Narosny has told us, as we've talked to her over the last couple of weeks, what makes this special is that every single piece of art you're seeing at this event is handcrafted and made directly for this event by those artists. You're not seeing any duplicates coming in. You're not seeing any artists that have printed a duplicate of a painting they've made or some other art they've created and put it onto another canvas or put it onto another material and brought it out there as a second, third, 15th, 25th, 84th copy of it to sell it to you at the same price. This is original, and you're talking to the actual people making these works of art for you. So Orchard Lake Fine Art Show again, Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th, hotworks.org, both days. The event begins at 10 a.m. And Dayan, it's a great event to get out to explore the art in the community, and like many other events we have over the summer, recreate, get to know some people, get to know some community organizations who will also be there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great event to see what our community is capable of doing. I mean, as you said, Tyler, it's one of the best events happening in our community. So why not go? Why not see this beautiful art created by our beautiful community members, enjoy it? And definitely, I really I'm going. I don't know if you, Tyler, are going, but I'm definitely going to see all these beautiful art pieces.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do about logistically getting out there, but if I can, it's a great event, and I always enjoy being out there at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show each and every year. Parts of the proceeds from the tickets do go to their nonprofit that supports children in the arts and bringing them up and teaching them about the business and, of course, the art of making these creations for the next generation. And it's a big event for West Bloomfield, bringing people in, not only the artists, but the patrons of this event from across our area of Michigan, across the state, and around the world. Saturday and Sunday of this week, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. If you want to get involved, get to the art show and help out another organization in the community, you can do so with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, still seeking volunteers for this weekend's event on Powers and Daly Road. Saturday, July 29th and July 30th, of course, Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. And the Historical Society, they're looking for people to help manage their presentation tables, hand out materials to people about the Historical Society. Hey, look, not everyone knows that we have a local Historical Society that preserves the history of our four communities, West Bloomfield Township and the Tri-Cities of Keagle Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, and Sylvan Lake. And they do a lot of great work, and they have a museum in the community. There's so much you can learn about our community from this organization. They want to help people get to know them, and also for people to join in with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society tent at this year's Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. If you're interested, 2-hour shifts are available both on Saturday and on Sunday, including before and after ELSEN at gwbhs.org if you'd like to volunteer. And if you can't get out to the event but you still want to support our local Historical Society, you can do so at the grocery store using your Kroger Rewards. All you got to do is simply log into your Kroger Rewards account and then go into the section that helps to support local organizations and the community rewards and select the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society as the local organization you'd like to support with a small portion of the proceeds from your grocery purchases with your Kroger Plus card. A great way to get involved either at an event out in the community this weekend at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show or day-to-day supporting your local Historical Society. Plenty more to get into on this edition of the Splash Live. More news and information across our community coming up after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gambling problem. You have a money problem. Don't let your gambling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dayan in the community, or even some fun and events, including music happening right here in West Bloomfield Township and all throughout Oakland County. Dayan Chaaban has the latest.
Yeah, so a resident of incredible live shows with a wide range of different music genres. So what makes these concerts a lot more special and your own chairs and just be there, sit there with coming live shows only this week. So one of them, and we've been talking about this for a very long time, the Marsh Bank Music Series, which is
It's a really great music series out at Marsh Bank Park. Yeah, it's right on that concert hill Diane, you can see something in a row. And that's just a taste of the music happening all throughout Oakland County. As you said, Diane, other concerts also all throughout this week.
Thursdays through July 27th, so make sure you... Another exciting live show is also happening in Rochester to 9 p.m. on July 27th. It's on the same day. There's a lot going on, so you pick and choose whatever you like. This is a little bit more classical. 27th happening through August 10, 24 is the summer. A lot of interesting artists from Devlin, Sicilian, Arizona, and another exciting event is Summer in the City concert on July 28th in Southfield, Evergreen. And on Friday night, 7 to 9 p.m., July 28th through August 25 is the Center Street Park, downtown Milford.
Plenty of fun events and concerts in our local area and all throughout the community here in Oakland County. Of course, Marshbank Music here in West Bloomfield Township. That's Wednesday night, just off of Hiller Road at Marshbank Park. Others in Milford, in Rochester, in Troy. And even like our friends at Local 4 we saw earlier on in the day, Devin Skillion and Arizona Sun happening in Troy. A lot of fun in the community. Diane, thank you for that report. That is going to do it for today's edition